morning edition, water upgrades for South Andros, garbage collection increased, and a Public Servant of the Year named. The countdown is on to payday, folks, and we are surviving January. Good morning to all of you. I'm LaDawn Davis, and this is the Morning Edition. Thank you so much for waking up with us. And joining us live here in studio on the Morning Edition to tell us how things are shaping up weather-wise is Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good morning, Basil.
Good morning, LaDawn. To get you started this morning, the ZNS Tower Cam overlooking the harbor, and it's showing some patchy clouds there, and that will pretty much be the cost of the day in terms of our weather, but it will change later on tonight. All the details on that coming up later in the newscast, so do stay tuned. But right now in our satellite picture, you can see those patchy clouds drifting towards the west. That's associated with that high pressure that will begin relaxing today as well. This is the frontal boundary that's heading towards the south and east, will affect us later on tonight. Outside of our studios, we have just a few clouds, temperatures 72 degrees, relative humidity 93%, easterly winds at 5 miles per hour, barometric pressure 1,021.1 millibars, that is 30.15 inches, and it is steady. Temperatures around the islands this morning, a cool 67 in Green Turkey, Marsh Harbor at 68, 67 in Freeport, Grand Bahama, in the Berry Islands, 74, 73 degrees in Alistown, Bimini, 75 in Harbor Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera, Otterstown, Cat Island at 76, 75 in Staniel Key, Camp Space on Andros, also Fresh Creek in Central Andros. In San Salvador and Rum Key, 76 degrees, 76 also in Ragged Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy, Maguana, and Acklands. Matthewtown at 77, Turks and Caicos Islands at 76 degrees. And your boating forecast for today, in the northwestern islands, you can expect easterly winds 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. High tide 9:09 this morning, low tide at 3:38 in the afternoon. For the southeast Bahamas, east to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, wave heights also 2 to 4 feet. And for the southeast Bahamas, winds east to southeast a little stronger at 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet with a moderate chop. And that's going to do it for your boating forecast for today. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Thanks a lot, Basil. Meanwhile, traffic reporter Sieska Adderley is standing by with traffic police to tell us what is happening on our streets this morning. Hello, Sieska.
Good morning. This morning's traffic report, we're coming to you live from Village Road, and joining me now is Sergeant Crestania Johnson, and this morning we're talking multiple lanes. Good morning, Sergeant Johnson. How are you?
A pleasant good morning to you, and a pleasant good morning, Bahamas. Yes, getting back into the flow of school and getting to the school traffic and to address some particular issues. And one of those issues that we usually face here at this intersection is multiple lane changes and persons doing unsafe lane changes. So we find that if you go along this road, you look right behind me, we have when persons enter that lane, we have persons on the straight lane and persons who enter the turning lane. And what happens is persons enter the turning lane with the intention to go vehicles once the light is changed. So we just simply ask persons, if possible, to just make your mind up basically on which area you want to travel into. You do not want to be at that traffic light making that decision. Another issue we face is the eateries on the side of the street here. We have persons who enter into the main road, and what happens is they enter and they're persons who are making that lane choice as to whether they're going to go straight or whether they're going to turn. What happens now is when they do this, the vehicles that are on that lane, they do not see these persons who are coming out from these eateries. So what happens then, we have these accidents occurring that then blocks up the road and causes obstruction. These are things that we want. Here, we ask the motoring public to please be vigilant. Please ascertain your way clear before entering the main road and pay attention to what's going on around you.
Now, Sergeant Johnson, does that affect pedestrians at all?
Of course it does, especially in this area, because we find that we're coming from one curve into another curve, and then we approach the light. We have persons who are going to cross the road and use this thoroughfare to get either to this shopping plaza or to the next, or kids who are along this thoroughfare going to school. We ask, please, just to be mindful, and then we put it into practice that 5-day challenge that we spoke about yesterday. We're asking persons to be vigilant and watch out for pedestrians, wear your seatbelts, and do all these different things that would increase our chance of being safe and having a safe commute.
All right, thank you so much. Sergeant Crestania Johnson from the Police Traffic Division just reminding us what we need to know, and we paid a particular attention to multiple lanes and making sure that you do the right lane so that you can get to your destination alive and safely. Back to you in the studio, LaDawn.
Thanks a lot, Sieska. Site inspections were conducted in South Andros yesterday by officials from the Water and Sewerage Corporation. This comes ahead of the installation of water mains and a reverse osmosis plant in that community. The move paves the way for residents there to have potable water in a matter of months. Many South Androsians continue to grapple with rusty, salty water from private wells. Executive Chairman Adrian Gibson says the project will be climate resilient in order to safeguard the water supply on South Andros moving forward.
We are constructing your mains, we're laying your mains with consideration for that so that they can withstand climate change, hurricanes, and so on. The South Andros project is valued at over $5.5 million. It includes the supply and installation of approximately 1,980 feet of 6-inch pipe, 107,250 feet of 4-inch pipe, and 53,600 feet of 2-inch PVC pipe.
Some 3,000 residents in South Andros stand to benefit from the project when it gets underway in the coming months.
Some of the settlements to be impacted would be Congo Town, Long Base, High Rock, The Bluff, Smiths Hill, Kemps Bay, Black Point, Deep Creek, Roll Town, Pure Gold, Little Creek, Pleasant Bay, and Mars Bay. The project was executed in 3 lots. Lot number 1 saw the replacement of distribution mains in Congo Town, Long Bay, High Rock, and The Bluff settlements.
8 days into the new year, officials from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force and the Department of Immigration have already apprehended 304 illegal migrants in 4 interception exercises. Chief Immigration Officer Harold Thurston says locating and apprehending people who enter or attempt to enter the country illegally can be challenging due to limited resources. In the most recent apprehension exercise, 108 Haitian nationals were intercepted between New Providence and in Exuma. Thurston, who took charge of the enforcement unit in September 2018, says immigration officers do the best with what they have. He also had a warning for illegal migrants and residents who harbor them.
The only way that we can keep on the cutting edge of what is happening and keep the public informed and keep those who would attempt to interfere and breach our borders that we will practice zero tolerance is to let it get out to the public. And so it is very necessary, and my intention is to implement a PR office so that everyone is informed of exactly what we are doing and why.
Residents of New Providence should breathe a sigh of relief as garbage collection will be increased from once to twice weekly starting in February, according to the Department of Environmental Health Services, announcing the increase in collections is expected to significantly reduce the collections backlog normally experienced over the holiday season. DEHS Director Melanie McKinsey, who noted that it is not unusual to see a larger than usual accumulation of garbage because of the extra festivities over the holidays. In other news this morning, the Tourism Safety and Security Committee is seeking to make the downtown area safer for visitors. Members of that committee, as well as the downtown subcommittee, took part in a walkabout on Monday, moving from East Street along the Prince George Wharf, assessing concerns. Commander of the Central Division, Chief Superintendent B.K. Barnaby Jr., says better lighting is one area officials hope to improve on, among other concerns.
As we pass, we look at some of the roads, the crack in the road on level roads. We have 1 or 2 concerns last week or last year, 1 or 2 tourists who almost slipped and hurt themselves because of the uneven road. So that's one of the main concerns we want to fix. We're looking at the lighting condition. After dark, sometimes we have the rest of that overnights and tourists that still walk on the wharf. So we want to have a better lighting condition. We also might look at putting back the police booth that's on the wharf. Some years ago, that was there. And I think I'll speak with the commissioner, see if we could bring it back. That will also help in policing the wharf on the morning. We have those heavy vessels and late into the night. Questions on the vessels. How best we can address that. Them coming off and on. We look at those vessels going over the Paris Island. We're looking at what safety mechanism they have on board their vessel in terms of fire extinguisher, how many lifeguards they have.
These vendors in the downtown area feel that it is safe, but agree with the concerns presented and hope to see some improvements.
Number one, some of the sidewalks need to fix. Number two, all about in the center up there in a terrible shape. Sometimes tourists be falling down.
Basically, the cleanliness of the area. You know, sometimes the nightclubs, they don't have bathrooms, or the bathrooms are not working or whatever, but they would normally feces and urinate in the back of our booths. And when we come out, we have to clean that.
And coming up after the break, we are going to hear from a Public Servant of the Year on his recognition. That story and more when the Morning Edition comes right back. Welcome back to the Morning Edition. Sometime last year, fisheries scientist Dr. Lester Gittens had the prestigious title of Public Servant of the Year bestowed upon him for a stellar performance in his field. Gittens has been employed at the Department of Fisheries and Marine Resources for 16 years and has represented the Bahamas in many capacities internationally. Additionally, he says receiving his flowers while alive is a big deal for him.
I was completely overwhelmed and honored to receive that award. I mean, at the end of the day, I do what I do simply because I believe that our marine resources are important for the Bahamian people. That's what motivates me. And so, nonetheless, it was still, I felt wonderful just to receive that award, be recognized in that manner. And also for people to recognize, too, that conservationists, I mean, they are skilled scientists as well. Sometimes conservationists receive a bad name, but they're not all the same. They have many people employed in the government, in the Bahamas National Trust, BREEF, the Nature Conservancy.
The fisheries scientist has a strong passion for biology, the sciences, and his career, and says it's been quite an honor to travel abroad and negotiate on behalf of this country.
I mean, I've led a lot of international meetings concerning the Queen Conch and Spiny lobster, and also negotiated on behalf of the Bahamas an international forum like CITES, that's a Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Plants and Animals. And so, I mean, I've had to attend these international meetings and just really negotiate on behalf of the Bahamas, say whether we want a species to be protected or why it shouldn't be protected, what types of measures should be put in place. So it's not a case where the Bahamas is just following blindly what the international community is doing. We actually have a say in what has to be done, on what should be done.
And some good news for the Bahamas Union of Teachers. A new multi-million-dollar headquarters right behind the Walker's Hall building on Bethel Avenue is expected to be constructed here in the capital pretty soon. President of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, Belinda Wilson, told ZNS News that the new head office would cost the union some $8 million.
We are really trying to build a new headquarters here in New Providence, and this has been on the drawing board for a very long time. So there's going to be a series of meetings sometime next week to see if we can get some funding for the new Walker's Hall here in New Providence. We have acquired property behind our existing hall. We have everything approved. Our drawings are approved. We've gotten some bids, but we'll have to get some renewed bids based on VAT and other increases in products and equipment and supplies.
Wilson says the union is also hoping to expand its housing project for teachers desiring to become first-time homeowners.
We want to do a housing project because we have a list of at least about 250 teachers who are desirous of having their own homes. So that is something that we're working on, and we await some information from the ministry, the office of the Prime Minister in that vein.
Official, a lot of Bahamians are broke, I guess, after Christmas holiday, and we're now surviving January.
I see you're all smiles. You were all smiles when I walked into the newsroom yesterday. You surely missed me while I was on vacation.
Yes, definitely. So what's coming up in sports?
Coming up in sports, well, the Big Tank has a fight later on this month in Colombia. Also, Buddy Hield and DeAndre Ayton will be back on the court once again tonight. And it was a good opening, you said. Payday is right around the corner. Play of us can't wait.
That story and more ahead in sports.
Good morning once again and welcome to sports. The opening game of the New Providence Basketball Association last night at the F Valley Gym was a real barn burner. The Triple K Stampers and Leno's Eagles Nest off and running. No team able to go up by more than 2 in the first half, which ended tied at 45-all. Third and fourth quarter belonged to the Stampers with a little bit of edge, and they hold on for the 97-94 win thanks to 24 points, 40 rebounds from Troy Tremblay, 24 points, 12 rebounds from John Lee Noel, and Michael Turncrest with 17. Coach Roland Evans on the win.
Second time playing the Eagles Nest. We won the first game. This is the second time, and they came out with a lot of heart. We won the first quarter, but they showed that their defense changed, and it gave us a bit of a challenge. Down to the last minute and 34 seconds in the game, we were down by 6 points, but we had to bring out our heart.
Now Buddy Hield with 13 as the Sacramento Kings reached 20 wins with a 111-95 blowout of the Orlando Magic last night.
I can't tell you how much, one of those games that, like you're supposed to win, but anything go anyway. But we came out, we played the same way. We had open shots that we missed, but we came out, we executed, we played well, and we guarded, and, we tried to hold some of the lead guys under the average, and it was a good game, man. And hats off to the guys, coaching staff, we did a good job. And we've been playing the same way we've been playing the past 4 games. You're up the whole time, you just get to finish ready to close, and we got a head up by 20, and we was able to sustain the lead.
Now, Buddy and the Kings right back on court this evening playing DeAndre Ayton and the Phoenix Suns. Now, the last time these two behemoths met on the hardwood, the Kings stumped the Suns 122-105 in Phoenix. Well, tonight it may be a different story.
Despite how Phoenix is playing, they're still a good team, and you see the teams they beat, so we gotta be ready and be locked in. Still believe that we give away something that we supposed to already been over 500, but that's what it is, man. You gotta keep going, you gotta move on, no excuses. Get this one tomorrow and try to be over 500.
Now, Sherman the Tank Williams preparing to step back into the ring later on this month. He'll be going to Colombia. He's working out now from his home base in Vero Beach, Florida, and he's ready to rumble.
Yeah, first of all, Samuel Miller is an experienced fighter. 6'2", 230 pounds. He got 35 wins and 10 or 12 losses. He's an experienced fighter, so I'm not taking nothing for granted. I'm training hard, getting my slips in. Today was a great day. Did the speed rope, skipping rope, heavy bag, the speed bag, and I'm finishing up now with some ropes. Basically, it's gonna be me enforcing my will on Samuel Miller. I'm gonna get in close and bang the body, break him down, and the head will follow. I mean, if he open up early, I'm gonna go for the overhand right. So I'm willing to fight him, face to face, blow for blow, 10 rounds. But if I see an opening for the overhand right, I'm gonna take it right away.
And that's a knockout. I'm Charles Fisher. Thanks for watching.
Now, our final look at whether that area of high pressure beginning to relax, so we'll see some lighter winds during the course of the day, but that will also pave the way for the arrival of this frontal system, which is now approaching central Florida. That will get into the northwest Bahamas later on this afternoon, and during the late night, early morning hours, it will push through the capital, bringing with it perhaps 1 or 2 showers, but behind it, a nice cool down will take place. Our forecast for today, partly sunny and warm, high temperature getting up to 80 degrees. Tonight, we're looking at increasing cloudiness as that frontal system approaches, with some late night and early morning showers developing. Low temperature getting down to 70 degrees. And your 7-day forecast looking like this. Wednesday, Thursday, lots of sunshine heading into the weekend. On Sunday, we have another frontal system pushing here, and that will reinforce the cool conditions that we anticipate in the next 24 hours. LaDawn?
Thanks a lot, Basil, and that does it for the morning edition. Thanks for waking up with us. Be sure to join us at 6 o'clock for the Bahamas Tonight. Once again, I'm LaDawn Davis. Have a great day.